the way we want it. So with that, Mr. Tibbs?
Attached to the agenda there is our current ordinance 166. Let's see, that was enacted back in 1984, outlining the program. Obviously, it's probably outdated by quite a while. It means. So it also attaches ordinance number 307, which was the last rate increase that we had. That was done in 2011. As you know, the new trash cans are here over at Public Works. We've had the garbage truck over there, and the tippers installed on it. Is it back there?
Yeah.
Two tippers.
Two tippers.
Bright yellow.
But prior to, at this point in time, I think we probably need to discuss about what we want our garbage program to look like. One of the ones that looked pretty good was at the end of the package there. There's 2 pages there. It's from Erie County, talking about their program. We wanted to try to model that somewhat, although they provide a lot more services than we do, but still it's a good starting point to use to that. So I guess we're just gonna try to look for some direction on how we want the program to run. We purchased some 96-gallon containers. We also have some 64-gallon containers for those that did not want a larger one that may possibly due to weight or whatever. So we have both the 2 different sizes. So,
Can you go to
So I guess
Erie County does?
we want to go in steps.
yeah.
Y'all, first thing, maybe let's discuss the rates, Mark.
Yeah.
So from your, Ashley, tell us, just break it down for us right there. Like you were telling me this morning, they're getting 2 days a week for X amount of dollars.
Right now, what we have is 2 days a week, 2 30-gallon cans per home at $26.25 a month.
And with that being said, now you're going to a
95, 96 gallon, I can't remember.
Or 60.
or 64.
And my input on that is like Fisherman's Village over here, where you have they don't create that much garbage over there.
Yeah.
They could use the smaller cans, but if people are gonna come up with the idea of charging you this for this, and it's a smaller can than what everybody else is getting charged for. So that's something you need to think about.
So we're technically going to need 2 rates, possibly.
You'll have a 96-gallon rate and you'll have a 64-gallon rate.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, regardless of how many days they put it out, they can put it out once, but they got the option to put it out twice. Go with it.
How are we gonna decide? Because everybody's gonna say, "Oh, I want to pay less for the 64," but really they need the 95. So how are you gonna combat that?
Well, right now, some people, like I know my garbage can's more than a 30-gallon can.
But a lot of people are gonna just think about, "Oh, well, rates are going up, so now I got to pay more. So why should I pay for that when I got that?" And there's no incentive, because financially there's a difference. So how do you determine it's the 64 versus the 95?
And they're also gonna think, well, they're giving us new garbage cans, they're putting their rate up, so we're paying for the garbage cans anyway.
can maybe justify Fisherman's Village because how you do
Well,
But the zippers can't really fit.
I don't think you should classes of cans for somebody to decide. That's
he's not gonna need a 96 gallon garbage can.
My
He-
cousin didn't need it, you know?
Yeah. It'd be a 64 done once every 2 weeks, maybe. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely right.
So would you put it on?
because then you're going to get into logistics too, and what you're picking up with this and what you're picking up with that. I mean, it's
What
just
do you mean, bro?
you're giving people who are going to. I'm not saying they're not. It's legitimate, but you're giving people. You're incentivizing people who are going to use the more to pay the less, and you're going to have a hard time policing it.
I didn't know I wasn't aware we were getting.
I wasn't aware there were two different either, but it doesn't matter. My problem is human nature is they're going to, oh, I only want the 64. I'm not paying for mine. And then they're going to come beat on them over here. They're going to hear that all day long, every day. I'll guarantee it, because people don't want to pay, especially if there's a rate increase.
So
I don't see why.
the other
it's-
option you could do is the people that get the 65 gallon cans, which would be the people in Fisherman's Village, elderly people, they still have the option to put another 30 gallon can out there. So the rate will still stay the same. They have the option to use another can or they don't. If in Fisherman's Village, they're not gonna be able to take the truck with tippers anyway.
Like the yacht, would be another place for the smaller
The
cans.
small, and I think we were talking about the smaller cans for the 60 and up at one time.
There's not very many smaller cans. What do we order, like 100?
Must have missed that one.
That's kind of where it popped up, was with seniors and stuff, that the weight difference in trying to haul a 96 gallon can out there is
It's quite honestly not difficult, because that's how we do it in my house. I have the big can. Now, if I stack it and, if I've fully used it, yeah, it's heavy to pull. But if the big can versus just the 20 pounds of garbage, it's not hard to pull. My point is that you're going to have a bad practical effect, I think, after you enact it, because you're going to have people beating on them over here, and it's going to be a constant battle. Why me versus why not? And all that stuff. And the more you give wiggle room, the worse it is. So,
I think the thought was too, like churches and stuff like that that didn't, for example, once a week they had service or whatever, that they probably wouldn't generate the amount of trash that you would in a home.
But our church does,
Does it? Okay.
yeah, because we have 4 cans and them ladies get to cooking. for
I
a
just say
funeral
this,
Or a wedding.
legally, uniformity is bliss. Once you go off of uniformity, that's another world. So how you do it, ultimately, you decide. I could see a constant at the front desk every time.
Were we in the hole in the garbage department when, budget time last year?
We came out positive, but not by a lot, no.
And we had talked about raising all the rates.
The garbage rates are extremely low.
What's your recommendation on raising it, Larry? Did you have a number?
No, I did not have enough. One of the issues you have is trying to look at people's at their garbage rates and trying to match up. A lot of the cities and even the county, either they contract out, or even if they sometimes they operate in house, they do they set up a special assessment where it goes on your tax bill. For taxes, it's yearly. It's yearly. For example, that's where I'm at. That's the county. You get charged a yearly special assessment for for garbage. So it's hard to break down a lot of time a comparison between rates between different places. It said, for example, I think didn't Hendrick County use a special stuff?
Yes, but Hendrick County does a special assessment. I did put one paper in there that says what waste connection charges for right there on River Road by. And it comes out to, before their rate increase, I wasn't able to get their new rate increase, but before that it was $130 something a quarter, I think is what it was. Come out to like $40 something a month. Yeah, $45.31 per month. And they only get one time a week pickup. They don't provide the cans.
And we're picking it up, we're picking it up 8 times a month, 10 times a month.
Yeah.
Now you're not on city council, okay? If I came to you and was telling you, look, I'm gonna pick up your garbage cans twice, for 10 times a month, is it worth $45 to you? That's a 20.
With the garbage that I create in my home, no.
Yeah. That's a $20 increase on where we're at
Right.
right now. You and I don't create a lot of garbage, but the apartments across from you do. So,
Oh, yeah.
so I mean,
But a multifamily.
This is what I've been,
a multi-family,
and the dairy houses.
right.
It's sitting out there.
So take the dairy houses into consideration that you're $45.31 a month. You're picking the garbage up 10 times. And I'm supplying you a garbage can that's easy to roll in and out of your garage or wherever. It's got now another thing too about these cans is, like this morning when Brad and I went down Avenue R in those apartments, every garbage can was in the middle of the road. They picked up the garbage, but the wind was so strong, the garbage cans were across the street. These garbage cans will be like you see in Clewiston when they pick up trash. They'll be uniform. Hopefully, by doing this, it'll help the city stay cleaner because they'll have lids on them. So I guess my question to you, I don't think 531, and I'm cheating the city making this decision.
To that, but they have a whole separate route.
They're gonna set it out there for twice a week. I personally, if you ask me the same question, I think
The way that they did
$40,
it was they
$20
put it
increase
in the can, you have to leave a
is
little bit
kind
so
of
they know it's what it
painful.
is.
I wouldn't mind. I would pay $30 a month for garbage pickup at my house because
Everywhere is once a week.
That's yeah, I can go with
I
that.
mean,
Garbage,
you know,
recycle, yard.
in the $5 range or $4.
And
Better
then
than
so
the county.
long,
Over
so
in
much.
Coffee
More
Road,
stuff in
Wayman
the
Road,
can.
places like are so expensive.
That's
they
why
don't
we
come
were
once a week.
going through
Yeah,
this.
there's-
Yeah.
And when you
Because
pull
the
that
way
can down
Hendrick
there,
County does theirs,
it's 4
doing it
pounds
in
to
bundles.
get down.
Yeah.
It's like the rate you said, that for 531, that's only one pickup a week.
One
Yeah.
pickup.
Yeah.
That's what he
And
said.
it's, yeah, it's 160 gallons total
So
it's-
for the week.
So
Some of
obviously,
these people that live in town, I hate to say it, but you need one truck for a couple houses.
So as of right now, Steve, as we've discussed, we would consider going up $4.75 on our garbage rate. I mean, this is something we gotta wait for everybody to get back, of course, but you guys would consider going up $4.75. I mean, I think it's worth it. So there's the rate increase we can,
for discussion purposes, that's our rate.
Right.
and I guess we'll have to have some discussion on the bigger and little cans. I mean, when it comes time. I mean, like I sat here the whole time thinking he's gonna take a litter garbage can, but he'd rather have a big garbage can. So I mean, maybe everybody at Fish or at the yacht club wants a big garbage can, you know?
It's mainly gonna for the people that don't put nothing but a Winn-Dixie bag out
Yeah.
at garbage pickup. There, we have some of those
The Mr.
people.
Dyers.
Yeah.
And myself,
Yeah, and paint.
every week.
The other thing that I did notice on here that I think that we've talked about this quite a few times, if you go down into like page 9, 10, and 11 and look at it on here, it's the distribution of
I
the
think it's
garbage
supposed to
can.
be, they have two different sizes,
Right, Larry? Is that,
but they have an
what
unlimited
what
garbage
is, I
there,
mean, the distribution of the garbage cans
meaning
is,
you can put out all the garbage you want on
something
pickup
that-
day, and they're gonna pick it up.
you know, we
Here, we don't have
It'll
that.
be a load up
So,
trailer, go
Do you have
deliver.
a 65 gallon can?
Well,
Do you have a 90
that's what I
gallon
was
can? You
thinking,
fill
yeah.
that
So-
can
so
up and
now
you
my
add
thing
more,
is-
you can continue
It may
adding
take a
it.
couple days,
You
you know,
run out of
maybe
garbage.
around.
It's like I could unload my house on the
And
street.
you gotta have good paperwork.
and
so
have
are
to
you
pick it up.
gonna, are you gonna make them, so when you come to my house, I'm gonna sign for this garbage can?
It'll have a number and assigned to an address or however, I don't have to.
Well, the way that we did it at the garbage company when I worked there is we had a spreadsheet that had the address and the homeowner's information on it. And we pulled that off the property appraisers and put their toter number on there. And then if there was any kind of replacements that we would have replaced, we would go in there and put new toter number, whatever. But it was basically assigned to that homeowner. And we've got renters.
Is there software that you can have to put this on, or is it something you're just gonna put right on, you know, their address on the computer where?
It was just going to be an Excel spreadsheet, most likely. That's the way that I did it at my old job, and it didn't. I mean, it was easy to navigate through.
Well, okay.
Couldn't we put something on the monthly bill that stop in the city hall and sign for your new can?
We got about this much space to put something on the bill, and we this much.
Okay.
It's the size of an eyeball. You can't really put nothing on there.
And
You're right.
the amount of money that we have put into the tippers and so on and so forth, we even talked about possibly, you know, not just on our websites, but sending out a mailer and letting them know starting June 1st, we're distributing the new garbage cans or however she wants to come up with it, because we have to advertise the rate increase for a couple of weeks, right, Larry?
Yeah, you're gonna have public hearing and do your work.
Yeah, hearings, that's right, yeah.
Here, two ordinance readings.
Something that, if you look, when you look into it, something that I want to change in there is, okay, so I'm living, the guy in apartment A, and he moves out and takes that garbage can. Now the next people move in, I wait to provide a garbage can from him. The owner of the apartment, whoever the property owner is, they're the ones that need to be responsible for the garbage can, and they can add that garbage can to their first and last month's rent if they have to. But it also needs more teeth in here so that when person apartment A moves out, that and they come back and their living room sitting out by the road and no one's there, we're the ones picking that up and paying for it. We're not billing the homeowner. And I don't believe it says that in here. So that's something that needs to be put in here.
But typically, a lot of places, you'll have, if someone has a rental home or property, they will set up a standby account. So that when the renter, someone's renter is leaving, you know, that account will automatically transfer back to to their standby account.
I follow you, yeah.
Because, you know, what happens, that kind of puts the owner back in the loop there, because if somebody gives you notice, you're gonna make sure that you check them out before you give any kind of
Deposits.
Rebate on their deposit.
rebate on their deposit, that kind of thing, because once, like you said, once the renter's gone and they put all that stuff out there, you know, that's gonna be the homeowner's responsibility. So, you know.
And so if they take their garbage can, I would deduct that from
Yeah.
what her
If you-
deposit.
if it's not-
Well, so
Yeah, we're not turning the water back on there until we get a deposit on that garbage can.
So the toter list that that we used at my old job, if we had to replace it and we put a new toter number on there, then we would assess the whomever opened up a new account or the homeowner, whichever case it may be, we would assess them the price it costs to replace that trash can.
Not the renter, the homeowner.
It would go on to whatever open account. So if we had a standby account, that's where that would
That's
come
where
in handy.
Larry's-
Yes.
Larry's back, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got a couple rental homes out of state, and that's the same way too. You got standby accounts for basically all the utilities. If they're going to leave, then they.
You don't want the water and the power shut off.
Yeah.
So you've got to have.
Yeah. So
I got one more question.
Another thing too is Brad's brought up to me several times that we need new dumpsters. Well, those last time we bought them, it was a chunk of money. So that little 475 right there, go for it.
What's the number of large cans compared to the number of small cans?
as far as
How many?
How many?
How many?
we purchase a lot more big. I don't know exactly.
You don't know the exact amount.
We purchase probably 2/3 of them are probably the 96 gallon, maybe more.
I think we only purchased 100 in total of the small ones. The rest, 900 and something, are all the big ones.
It was like
We did not
1,000.
Oh, well, 100 out of 1,000?
That's 10%, Mark.
Gee, really? Your voice
Yeah.
is sexy too.
Yeah.
Another, is I went and put some more on here, this is like on page 10, it talks about things that you can set next to the road and things that you cannot set next to the road. And there's one on here that describes construction debris. And it says that residents may set out up to 2 cubic yards at curbside per month. And I
That's
think
in Hendry County. We don't have, per what ours says, we shouldn't be picking up any.
Right.
well, the one that's on my computer that signed that,
That's the Hendry County one that you're looking at.
the last 2 pages is Hendry
Yeah.
County.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one we were gonna go by to try to update,
Okay.
not mirror it completely, but
Okay, yeah, we don't want to pick up no construction debris, none at all.
that's what I keep saying.
And if it's out there, it needs to be cited, that's what this comes. Okay,
So with that said,
yes, sir.
although the board said, we're not gonna pick up construction debris, shouldn't we, so plywood and 2x6s and stuff like that is out?
Well,
Anything to
So
build a
when the
house.
dump is telling us one thing and then,
Well,
It does accept that kind of stuff. It has to be given certain lengths.
right,
They do accept.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is Fred that just tore the center of that house down, he's certainly got a trailer that he can haul his own.
that's
stuff.
correct.
So
But
if
if you-
we're gonna continue to do it, it needs to be in our new ordinance of what the penalty's gonna, if it's gonna be $25, $50.
We probably need to define further what construction debris is.
Thank you, yes.
It says, in this one, it says lumber, roofing material, drywall, glass, tiles, wire, metals, etc.
It's always been said, anything it takes to build a house.
Okay, well, that dumbs it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it even says in here, don't set it next to the road, take it to Clewiston or LaBelle. And then this is Clewiston or Hendry County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's, now when you talk to Jerry out at the dump, he's saying something totally different. He's saying they'll take anything cut like a 2x6 or a piece of plywood. They're in a 12-foot or, what is it, 12, yeah, 10 or 12-foot cut. The only thing they won't take is,
Fluorescent light bulb.
LP gas tanks. So I mean,
But do
Take
we,
12-foot lumber?
if
Yeah.
you cut it, yes.
but do we want to pick it up and take it? Even though he's taking it, we want to be the people.
But if
Yeah,
we're
I
going,
understand.
if we're paying for it, I mean, if Jake Geiger, you don't mind me
Oh, you're
using.
saying if you come to my house and pick it up, I'm billing you for it?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm all for us billing them.
Oh,
We're not doing it for free.
no,
I don't think it's right that we do it for free.
we're,
But is that gonna be a special run to pick that up then?
I would think
Yeah.
in my mind, yeah, but if,
So that's gonna have to be a call-in pickup. That's not something you go
You're right,
around
you're
on,
right, yeah.
on the,
yeah,
And his
Oh, you got a
employees
number in my house?
strength.
and it should be,
Oh,
it should be a deal where, what you're saying, Larry, is if I got 22 by 6s there in my front yard,
Sorry, I'm cold.
the only job you have, Jake, is if you've got 22 by 6s out there, it's only fair to us that you call in and say, hey, I got to pick up.
yeah.
If not, we're going to have a truck running up down the streets in Moorhaven for,
That's what we're doing.
And that's
That's what we're
probably now
currently
we should
doing.
be out there around, so that you got call in and
right.
you get a ticket before you go out there.
I agree with that, yeah.
I bill it.
That's
It gets billed. It's getting billed right
No,
now.
I understand that, but
But you want them to initiate it though, not us.
Not us
going out
just
there
drive
waiting
around and pick it
around.
up.
right.
We want them to have.
No,
to call.
it's only right. Well, and you taking this, Jerry, you're taking a lot of burden off Jerry Lindsay, because if you don't mind me using your name, Jerry Lindsay's pulling up to a pile and saying, okay, that's a grab. That grab's worth $50. But then he goes down to Brad Simmons. That grab may be a little bit more, but it's $50. So if Larry Tibbs calls in and says, I'm initiating this, it's a set fee that we set. You're taking that responsibility off an employee, if that makes sense.
How are you gonna know how much they have out there?
Yeah,
It don't
I'd rather
matter.
The driver
A
do.
grab is a grab. If you say I grab 3 grabs, well, that's X amount of dollars.
Well, a grab could be 20 pounds. A grab could be 1,000 pounds.
Right.
It could be 10 2x4s.
You can't go because we pay more for disposal on 1,000 pounds than we do on 10 pounds. The way that I know I keep referring back to Hendry County, but that's what I'm used to with garbage. And the way that we did it there, we had a set rate. The truck went out. It was $75 no matter what. If it was over an hour for them to be out there picking it up, it was so much per hour. And then you would pay that disposal ticket. So you would put only their items, say they have a full truckload out, and you would take that truckload, dump it, get the ticket, and the customer would pay that disposal plus the hourly rate for the truck.
That had to be a lot of stuff for hours.
Yeah, sure would.
Yeah, but
I think I
it's a
pick up a
minimum 1 hour. So if that truck goes out, period, it's $75. I'm just saying that's the way that we did it there. So maybe you wouldn't charge them $75. Maybe you charge them $25 for the hour plus the
Me
disposal.
personally, I'd like to see them spend their money on a roll-off dumpster and put their stuff off dumpster.
Are there any available in this area though?
I'm not working on the house.
No, that's the problem.
I mean,
If we decide that we're gonna do something like this, you're gonna have piles of stuff everywhere. And then everybody's gonna start dumping it on city property.
if we start
Just-
doing what?
You start putting a $75 just to have the truck come out fee. You're gonna have piles of stuff on all,
I say we
up and
charge.
down every ditch.
I got you. I say we charge them $75 and still make them go get a trailer once they set it next to the road. I mean,
I'm not saying charge them that amount. I'm just saying that's
How-
that's
how-
what
But
we
I'm
done.
asking what
Yeah.
was wrong with what we're doing right now.
I don't see why it changed.
We're charging everybody, I guess, the same rate, no matter how much they have.
Let the drivers write.
Instead of-
They got paperwork to do it.
But
No,
But why is
goodbye.
it fair for the little old lady to have one little door sitting out by the road and then the guy next door tearing down a deck?
But you see it
And it's
every
the same
day,
rate.
right?
Huh?
You see it every day.
But we're not charging the same rate now. He's
No,
charging-
Right, I
I
understand.
charge by what I
That's
grab.
what
I wasn't-
But
should
we're
be the
governed
same.
by ordinance. He's
All
not
right.
supposed to.
I was trying to stop the glass and the kitchens and the furniture being set out next to the road and us driving a brand new truck for an hour to Ortona and back, paying for it. And
Well, let me ask
There's a
you
way to
this.
do that too.
And I'm just asking, and I know this is,
Get the junk off the side of it.
this is the question, and I've asked this before, and I've seen it in other communities. What would be wrong with taking down there, and I'm just kicking an idea out here, that I think a lot of the reasons a lot of stuff don't get hauled off is it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the deal out here ain't open on weekends, and the big dump is closed at noon. So a lot of people, by the time they tear the deck down, they don't have time to get it there no how. So what would be wrong with putting a place down here at the burn pile, and just dump your stuff? Now, how would we charge you? That's a whole nother
Everything,
issue.
you'd have so much stuff in there.
I'm more concerned about how you would police it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I just brought it up because I was trying to restrict some of that stuff being said.
No, it's a good thing. It needs to be brought up because just right here, we've come up with 20 different scenarios.
That would be hard to police and people back up there and not put it in a dumpster. They throw it out every side.
Yep.
And drive off.
And leave.
They do that now.
And you'd leave on Friday and come back on Monday and the pile would be 10 foot high.
You'd have 3 files.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is it's not, it's weekend warriors, you know. They're the ones
Exactly
coming
what
up
it
here,
is.
Putting it next to the road, and then he's having to go over there and clean it up, and they seen the weekend before somebody across town did it, so they don't know that there's a rule not to do it, so they just come and do it. And we
No,
flip
I'm going to use me. I know when I tore my deck down, it was probably 2 grabs. Well, when you got a trailer and you ain't got a way to haul it to the dump,
It's very convenient.
it's pretty convenient. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie about it. And
That's a
I,
good deal.
But,
Yeah,
but
it's a
if you
good
knew
deal.
you were gonna set it next to the road, then that
I
would
called,
where it
and I
came
think
in.
I did.
That would
Yeah,
where it
I
came
called
in
Jerry.
to
Jerry,
call, like
right.
they're all talking about.
But, and that's probably why we need a sliding scale then. So each size wise cubic foot. If it's this much, if it's that, you know, and,
To be fair across.
you know, to be fair, have a sliding scale, not how much he's picking up is how much they're going to be charged.
Yeah.
Because like you said, someone has a few pieces,
Yeah.
and someone has
Yeah.
That's
a
right.
whole
Yeah.
deck or a whole, you know, that
Yeah.
take it out, so. Which is similar to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
It's just that we probably need to increase those rates, obviously, probably.
But you can't go out here on Saturday and Sunday. They're closed, and I think they close in the afternoons at 3 or 2 or 3. So I mean, you're kind of
We make it very convenient.
yeah.
Sure. Larry, what else you got? Anything else on the garbage? Just the rates is what we had talked about. Did you have any more concerns? Or anything else that you wanted to look into changing or use, Ashley?
Can I ask a question?
Those,
Mark?
what you call them, weekend warriors, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna see them new garbage cans sit out alongside their houses like they do now.
The old ones sit there too.
I mean, they'll get stolen, I know.
Yes, Jared, you had something?
The how you're dividing it up and you're gonna do a rate increase across, correct? For trash?
Mhm.
Okay, as far as the bigger can, the 96 can versus the 64 can.
Yeah, you missed that whole conversation.
Yeah, I get
And we have,
They're not making any decisions right now.
Yeah, we're,
No, but what is how are you deciding who gets the 64s? And if you raise everybody's rate, how is it fair that a 64 pays the same as a 96?
60 and up. it's-
I think we originally thought that it'd be a different rate for 96 and 64. But also, the earlier conversation, there may be some issue with having different size garbage. Because someone might, you know, because it's cheaper, take the smaller garbage can, but
They're still gonna have way more garbage than they can put in that
So-
64.
So I think we probably need to relook at this different size garbage cans again and see if that's what really.
I didn't even know you were getting 2 sizes.
I guess that was
Did you
kind of
know
last
that?
minute.
I missed that
I
too,
mean,
but
after I asked,
but to me, it's the distinction is in Fisherman's Village because it's the
Yeah.
smaller area. Because
Where we
I
can't take a
can
truck.
guarantee you they're gonna get beat on continually about this whole, well, big can, little can, but you're putting out this more than that. You know, it's gonna be a fiasco.
there's just one
Talk
question.
about, selling shirts was taking their time, well, this will really be taking their time, you know, so. That's just human nature. They're gonna do that. So I mean, you can accommodate somebody who's older with the smaller can, but I think you have to be uniform with your pricing just to discourage that from happening. So.
That's why I said the
Because you're
other
doing
option.
twice a week. Most jurisdictions just do once a week. You gotta live with it. Here, you know, that you're accommodating your citizens well by doing 2 weeks. So in the sense of people have a lot of stuff to throw out. The one big can, you should hold in. If an elderly person needs a smaller can, they're not going to be generating that much. But when you start, like I said, when you start being non-uniform and you have arbitrary decisions on who gets what, it's a legal mess. You're gonna get sued over something stupid, like as stupid as that.
If we only did one round a week.
Yeah.
In some of these places, I couldn't imagine a mess.
Yeah, and it sounds like
Oh, my
I
God.
think what's gonna be interesting to me is when we start the new
I've
cans,
seen it.
how much is our tonnage gonna go down? For the basic reason is you're closing the lids, you're not getting water in your garbage.
They
So
close the lid.
If they're close.
if they close the lid, that implies another whole.
Code enforcement. And
But
that's
we wanted to ask if we can drill holes in the bottom of the can so that they can drain water,
Okay, so, yeah.
because there are no vents in the bottom.
The only
Yeah.
problem you would have with that is if somebody pulls it in their garage, they put something in it, they leak it out.
That's what I have in my house.
There you go.
And they're gonna call up here and go.
I got a hood.
yeah, it's messy.
All of it's
Mixed
a
up
whole
Yeah.
thing.
You just have to be. I mean, for me, I know it's once a week, so if I've got something really nasty going, I hold it to Thursday,
Yeah.
and then when it goes out because because it sits in my garage and I don't want to have to smell it. So I'm really conscientious of how we do it, but most people are not like that. I think if you vary from the design of the can too, it's going too far afield, but.
Before you got here, what we talked about, Larry brought us up to the 96 and 64 gallon cans. The last time there was a rate increase was 2011. Right now, you're getting twice a week. So let's say you're getting 10 pickups a month at $26.25. And we discussed to raise that. If you look on the second page of what Ashley printed right there, people are paying $45.31 a month across the river. And right. Say this again to me, Ashley. The price breaks down at $45.31 a month. So, and that's 2 times a week.
One time a week.
One time a week.
And they don't get
And they
trash
don't-
cans.
And they don't get their can. So if we raised it from $26.25 to $45.31, that's a $20 increase. We agreed that's too much right now. But I don't have a problem. I would pay $30 to have my trash picked up 10 times a month and you give me a garbage can. I would pay that.
You asked only $5.
Mark said he would pay it. Brad
Yeah.
said he would pay it. So with that $5 increase or $4.75 increase on a 96 gallon can, Steve,
645.
that $4.75 increase on a 96 gallon can, could you take half of that and do the increase on the 64 gallon can?
You wouldn't even have to take half, would you?
Going back to the race between the 96 and 64, maybe we should just have one rate.
number to call.
If they request
Yeah,
a
but that
64
phone's
gallon
not
can because of
working for
example,
some
they're a
reason.
senior or they got some other reason, they can get a 64, but it's gotta be, to me, it's gotta be one rate for, or else you're gonna have that problem I was talking about.
Yeah, that way.
I'm gonna take the smaller can because, so I can,
Because I want it.
because I can pay less, but I'm gonna load it up, that, so if we had.
So we would have been better to just go,
Yeah, just have the one rate, but if someone, for some personal reason, wants a 64 gallon, be it, that's all they can move around or whatever, they can have it, but, like I said, having two rates is gonna cause a heck of a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Crap, no.
Yeah, let them choose, and this is the rate.
the rate is the rate.
Yes.
Yeah, the rate would be the same across the board.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
So
They
you're,
can choose if they want a big can or a little can.
But, the problem you have is you have limited smaller cans.
We'll deal
So
with
it's
that
gonna have to
one.
be first come, first served.
we can deal with that. one.
City council.
So.
We gotta do our.
And that's what we talked about was Larry was gonna try and do some numbers and possibly suggest going at $4.75 on garbage rates. We talked about,
I think we need to do our other meeting.
Okay, we'll be right with you. We're finishing off one other meeting.
And I apologize for being late. I thought it started at 6:30.
all right, Mr. Tibbs, we'll put this on the next city council agenda.
Yeah,
He can come back with some numbers.
But I just got
And Brad will be able to give us an update as far as long as when the garbage cans will be ready. And
Is the grabber ready?
the grabbers are ready. Ashley's got some ideas on informing the public of when we're gonna start this process. So, that's it.
Like the city attorney, we'll have to have a public hearing, 2 readings of the ordinance and all that, so that's gonna take some
A month.
time.
So we may to be able to issue the garbage cans and start this in June, but any type of paperwork that you give out, make sure it's in Spanish also. 100%, every word for word, it has to be in Spanish. And I don't think it would hurt to mail some of these letters like to your Graham Farm companies, to that owner of the apartments that we're always having trouble with specifically. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Decker, second by Mr. Browning. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. All right.
Goes next.